Hey you guys, so welcome back to my channel. I'm going to let you in on my labor story. At 28 weeks pregnant, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes and also preterm labor contractions. I was back and forth to labor and delivery, and I will insert pictures and clips of me going to the hospital. I think I have more pictures on my phone about on the contraction paper than I actually do when I was just there, like when I actually did give birth. They basically would tell me every time I would go it's normal and basically to come back when my water had broke. Yeah. Time went by, I made it to 34 weeks, 35 weeks, and then March 28th came, and this is what happened. So, I really wanted to do like daily vlogs, but these contractions though, I don't know if I could do it. It would just be a very weird video. It's 3:30 in the morning. I am in pain, but I'm trying to labor as much as I can out. I'm whispering because my husband's sleeping. Yeah, I know. I gotta wake up in a few minutes. Well, not wake up, I gotta go in a few minutes to get labs done. And I have an NSD today, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Alright, so I'm gonna try to sleep. I feel great with the heater and on the floor, but I just haven't been able to sleep. So yeah, so you can tell by the video I was in so much pain, and I just thought it was normal because all this time they have been telling me, oh no, don't worry about it, it's normal. Getting ready for my NST test. And if you don't know what NST is, I will put a little short definition right here. And it's basically they monitor the baby and the fluid around him, and everything was great until she put the contraction monitor on me and she saw that I was in full-blown, like it looked like I was in full-blown labor. I got a little concerned. She told me that she was gonna get the doctor because she really wanted me to go get checked. And I told her I was there a few nights ago, that I was fine, that I was dilated to 2 centimeters, but it was fine. So since I was dilated, she kind of made me go to labor and delivery. Morning, I had felt like I was coming down with the flu. And what I mean by that is I felt like I was gonna poop myself. Told me that they were gonna check me, and if in an hour I don't dilate, I get to go home. If I dilate, I get to stay. And so this whole time I had the feeling that I had to go poop. It was just a horrible feeling. I was feeling so much pressure down in my butt. And they checked me again, and I did dilate 1 centimeter. So they did decide to keep me for a few more hours, and if I had progressed, they were gonna keep me until I gave birth. It was around noon when they checked me, so fast forward, it was 7 p.m. They checked me, I hadn't dilated, let me go, and we went home. We got Burger King because I was starving. My husband is on the phone with his mom and my mother-in-law, and she is not quite understanding why they sent me home if they obviously saw that I was dilating. And you know, my husband doesn't know much about, you know, pregnancies and labor. I mean, now he knows more, but he was like, here, I'm gonna pass her to you. I'm talking to her for about good 5-10 seconds standing up. I take 2 steps forward. I'm on the phone with her around here, and I go 1, 2, like that. Exactly how it happened. Let me explain to you the sound of your water breaking. It sounds, it feels like a water balloon popped inside of you. All I heard was my water broke. I knew it was time to go back to the hospital. And we got into the car. Yo, we forgot to lock up our dogs. These are not They are destructive little ones. We were so like anxious. The one gate that's close by my house was closed because they were under construction. So my husband had to make a U-turn. Yo, that U-turn was the most painful U-turn I've ever experienced. And let me tell you how I sounded in front of the military like dude that was checking our IDs. I'm in the passenger seat, right? I'm holding on to the little bar thing in the car, and I'm like, like no joke, like I'm not exaggerating, bro. My husband wasn't sure whether to hit the gas or slow down, so I started walking with him. I did not make it 5 steps. I had to like crouch to the floor and wait. And let me tell you, water leaking and everything, still pregnant. I'm running to the door. At that point, the contractions got 10 times worse. Then I looked at him and I said, you're gonna wheel me up because I can't do this. You're gonna have to do this. I told this to my husband. And so he started doing my paperwork. He was asking me so many questions. And I'm like, I was getting so mad, but at the same time, like now I know that he didn't know what half of the things on that paper meant. So, and he was so nervous on top of that he put that I was allergic to penicillin. We get to the waiting room and the lady's like, I heard your water broke. Okay, so we're having a baby. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, lay down. And I look at her and I'm like, you're funny. I'm not laying. Put this IV in you and I can't have you standing up. So at that point, I was so like annoyed and I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay down. Fun fact, I have horrible veins, and being with contractions, it doesn't like help getting a needle like stuck in me like 20 times. And she tried to get it here, couldn't get it. She tried to get it here, couldn't get it. She tried to get it here, couldn't get it. And finally, she got it here. She got it in there, twisted it around my vein like 20 times and got it. And so anesthesiologist came in and told me if I wanted an epidural. I told him no, I want to try this natural. He said, okay, I'll give you some time. And if you do need it, give me a call. After he left, oh no, the contractions got 10 times worse. 10 times worse. She comes in and she's like, okay, I'm gonna check you. She checked me and I think I was 5 centimeters dilated. Yeah, 5 centimeters dilated. And she's like, okay, yeah, if you want, I can get you the gas. It'll alleviate the pain. And trust me, this is gonna take a long time. We're probably gonna be here for hours. I'll come and recheck you 4 hours later. I remembered I looked at him and I said, I need a bag. And he's like, what? And I was like, I need a bag. And I don't know where I puked. Like, oh, because I had the gas on. And let me tell you, that gas was not taking away the pain. So my husband, I told him that they told me I was only 5 centimeters. That's gonna take about 4+ more hours. That labor for first time moms does not happen that way. I'm gonna show you how I was. So this is my magical hospital bed or hospital ball. On top of that, I have high blood pressure problems and diabetes problems, so I'm not allowed to be off the monitors, right? I am on the bed like
pregnant, worst contractions ever, is trying to do the gas. I'm like this. Like, I'm like, no, I can't do this, no.
So, at that point, I'm like, anesthesiologist, epidural. Now, husband's like, he's so supportive. He's like, babe, I know you want to do this natural. What do we talk about? No epidural. You got this. And I look at him, I'm like, I can't do this. Get me an epidural now. He's like, but you're almost there. I said, no, if this is really true that it's gonna take 4 more hours, I can't do this. He calls my nurse, and my nurse goes to find the anesthesiologist. And maybe it like passed like 5 minutes, but for me, it was like 3 hours that they were taking. And I am screaming on top of my lungs in this room, and I'm yelling at my husband, where are they? Go out there and look for them. Are you crazy? I'm in so much pain. You're just standing there. I feel so bad. The anesthesiologist comes in, and they make my husband wait outside, and him and the nurse are having a great conversation, and I'm in pain just waiting for the needle to, you know, get poked in. He's talking through the procedure to me, and he told me that I had to hold still, but I just couldn't. I mean, I'm screaming, and he's looking at the nurse like,
Yo, you sure she's still at a 5?
and the nurse like,
Dude, you know how long this takes for new-time moms? It could take days.
thought I was being exaggerated. Like, they thought I was going crazy. They told me that if they would have known that I was at a 10, they would have never done that procedure or offer it, because I was basically ready to push. There's my cue. I'll be right back. By the grace of God, stood still, got my epidural in, and I felt great. 2 seconds of a nap, and out of nowhere, I feel this weird pain. It's not contractions. I feel like my hips are being ripped apart. And I tell a nurse, and she gives me the peanut ball to put in between my legs, so it could also progress labor, but so it could also alleviate the pain in my hips. And it did help. And I was waiting in my bed, just thinking I'm gonna go to sleep. And oh, and this was the video that I posted right before I gave birth. Okay, so it is almost time to push, and your dad is knocked out, but it's okay. I'll see you in a few minutes, okay? Mommy's gonna go take a nap. I love you. And out of nowhere, I start feeling like a weird pulse, like down there. And I tell my husband, I'm like, okay, you're gonna go get the nurse, or you're gonna get ready to catch this little blessing, because he's coming, like right now. And my husband's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he's coming right now. And so my husband runs out, and he tells the nurse, he's like, I think my wife thinks he is coming. And so the nurse and another nurse come in, and the other nurse, like one of the nurses says,
New time moms. This takes a long time.
and I'm like, just check. And so I will never forget the nurse's face. She lifts up the drape. She goes in to check me, and she stops and like goes pale, and she goes, oh my God, there's a head. He was basically out. Like my body pushed him out without pushing. So she runs to find a doctor, and she's like, you know, she's in labor. Like she's 1, 2, 3 push, and he's out basically. Doctor comes in, and she's like, oh yep, definitely ready. And let me tell you, I was like a walk-in museum. Like so many doctors were in there, and I had the mirror there. I pushed 5 times. At 1:44 in the morning, March 29th, Abraham Rosa was born. And now today, well, in a few more days, he will be 2 months old. I can't believe that time has flown. And that was my labor story. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Perfect.